Hello YouTube, this is HD Starcraft. This is going to be game 12, and this is going to be a TvT, which means Terran versus Terran, human versus human, metal to metal. None of that silly alien stuff or buggy Zerg stuff. So this is going to be on Blistering Sands, which I have to say is my favorite map so far in the beta pool. Blistering Sands is a 1v1 map. Spawn points are in bottom left hand corner, as you guys see here. The enemy spawn point is in the top right hand corner, and there is a back door to your base, which can be exposed by destructible rocks. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with this game. As you guys can see, it is in first person view, and it's going to be a great game, guys. So sit back, enjoy, relax, grab some popcorn, Coke, whatever you guys like to pleasure yourself with, and let's get this show on the road. So as you guys can see, there are health bars over all the units right now, and that is because it is in first person view. I've decided to adopt the following policy, where if it is in first person view, then you guys will see health bars, and if it's in replay mode, then I'll remove the health bars. The reason being is because I play with health bars on. As you guys can see, moving my scout into my opponent's base so far. Both of us doing pretty much the same thing, no cheese from the other Terran. And I've been cheesed quite a bit against Terran players before. Cheese, by the way, guys, if you guys aren't familiar, is when an opponent decides to pull off an unorthodox strategy, such as floating two barracks into your base in the fog of war and then building marines inside your base right at the beginning of the game. Or for another example is when a Zerg player decides to go with a 6-pool, where he doesn't build anything, just saves up for a spawning pool right away and tries to rush you. And I've actually cheesed a couple players before. I'm not sure if I want to upload those videos.
Not enough minerals.
You guys decide.
Gangway coming through.
And so far, I've noticed the most important limiting factor in Terran versus Terran is Vespene gas. Essentially, you need to get siege tanks, you need to get dropships, you need to get Thors, you need to get all those heavy gas units to succeed in TvT. Marines are pretty much worthless. Very similar to the old style Brood Wars. You guys can see only getting one barracks this game.
This better be good.
And immediately getting my factory down.
Got it. By the numbers, boys.
By the way, guys, if you guys don't know already, whenever I upload a video, as I've said many times before, if it is only a couple hours from being uploaded and it is not in HD yet, that is because YouTube has not yet processed it. So please bear with me and be patient with YouTube and myself, and rest assured the videos will be in high definition. As you guys can see, backtracking a bit, I built an supply depot over by those rocks. That is because that's the destructible backdoor entrance. Let's go ahead and rewind if you guys didn't catch it. And getting a reactor on my barracks as well, just so I can pump out groups of marines more quickly, and it's much cheaper than spending minerals on a second barracks.
Better be good. You gonna give me orders?
So far, just really macroing up, staying inside the base, building up units. You guys know the deal. I also want to thank all my contributors lately in the last couple of days. I don't think I've had any requests for shoutouts, but as always, if you guys have some spare change and you guys like what I do, feel free to donate.
By the numbers,
There's a link on my front page for credit cards or PayPal.
Fueled up, ready to go. Give us your best shot. SCV ready.
Armed
Add-on complete.
And as you guys can see, I am getting a command center, a second one, right behind my front door. Right up there, building in the top corner. The reason for that is because if you've got 2 command centers, you'll be able to pump out more mules, and whenever you feel comfortable, you can move out with that command center and grab your natural, because they are able to fly.
Go ahead.
Not enough minerals.
Aye, aye, sir.
And also getting a starport down right there as well. Reason being is you need those dropships to be more maneuverable.
You gonna give me orders?
Ready to roll out.
And I do like how Blizzard kept one of the original sayings when the siege tank does come out, ready to roll out.
Got it.
That's one of my best sayings of all time for Terran.
In the rear with the gear.
And another unit that I found very, very effective in TvT is actually the Viking. The Viking, as you guys probably know, although I haven't really showcased it at all yet, is a unit that can transform from flying in the air to being on the ground. And also using a comsat there on my opponent. But it's actually really good for attacking groups of siege tanks. If your opponent has a bunch of tanks exposed, then you can float your Vikings over the tanks and then just tell them to land, and that's gonna pretty much demolish all the tanks. And here we go, first battle of the game. My opponent decides to move out first. So, I'm sieging up my tanks on the ramp, not gonna land my command center into that mist of enemies. And continue to macro up during the fight. My tanks here do have an advantage because I've got a command center floating overhead that'll give vision. Otherwise, the siege tank's sight range is extremely reduced in Starcraft 2.
Better be good.
I see my opponent has not yet captured his natural.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
So my idea here was to bring that dropship over and land it on the tank, but it looks like the tank has left the area. And really, Terran versus Terran, it's really, really interesting. It's more of a battle for territory than it is to harass your opponent's economy, although you can go either route. But a lot of the time, Terran versus Terran is a battle for territory, and so you guys can see here we're trying to establish a stronghold. At least I'm trying to defend my position and he's trying to assault it, and the middle ground between those siege tank lines is just no man's land. And as you guys can see, using comsat, because otherwise siege tanks don't have enough sight range to shoot to their max range. And here we go, dropping units on those tanks, which is an extremely valuable reason why the dropship is so good in TvT.
Aye, aye, sir.
And so it seems for now my natural is secured. I've been able to hold my ground for my natural expansion, and my opponent so far, at least to my knowledge, hasn't grabbed an expansion yet, so I'm feeling pretty strong right now.
SCV ready.
As you guys can see, rally pointing all the barracks and factories and starports over to that natural now. And I've got a whole bunch of idle SCVs there. I'm not sure what the heck is going on with them, just being lazy, I guess. They've got to get back to work. That is the Viking right there, by the way, guys. It's a unit I'm going to start using a little bit more.